Should I do day 1, day 2, or day 3? How about day 1, right? Under the Trump administration, it will be the official policy of the United States government that there are only 2 genders, male and female.
Trump's first day in office is set to be a busy one following the announcement of an executive order to, quote, stop the transgender lunacy. Take a look.
With a stroke of my pen on day 1, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy. And I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation, get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high school. And we will keep men out of women's sports. And that will likewise be done on day 1.
Now, this threat has been growing for a while now within the Trump campaign. And prior to this announcement, Trump announced last month his plan to remove all transgender members from the US military, despite almost all branches not reaching recruitment numbers. The order could come on his first day back in the White House, January 20th. There are believed to be about 15,000 active service personnel who are transgender. They would be medically discharged, which would determine that they were unfit to serve. It would also lead to a ban on trans people joining the military. Trump did at one point downplay the transgender bathroom debate following incoming Representative Sarah McBride's quarrel with Nancy Mace over bathroom access. In a wide-ranging interview with Time magazine, which just named Trump its Person of the Year, the president-elect was asked if he agreed with McBride that, as Time phrased it, we should all be focused on more important issues than which bathrooms trans people use. Trump replied, I do agree with that. On that, absolutely. Prior to saying he agreed with McBride, Trump declined to answer a question about whether he more broadly believes transgender people should be allowed to use the restrooms of their choosing. Currently, 14 states have some form of legal limitations on which bathrooms transgender people can use, according to the LGBTQ think tank Movement Advancement Project. I don't want to get into the bathroom issue because it's a very small number of people we're talking about, and it's ripped our country apart. So they'll have to settle whatever the law finally agrees. Trump's official announcement of the reach of his executive order, though, comes at the same time ESPN is reporting Biden's decision to abandon his efforts to provide protections to transgender athletes. According to ESPN, the White House expects to pull back unfinished rules across several agencies if there isn't enough time to finalize them before Trump takes office. If the proposed regulations were left in their current state, the next administration would be able to rewrite them and advance its agenda more quickly. For the regulation on transgender students, the Education Department said it is withdrawing the proposal because of ongoing litigation over how Title IX, the landmark law preventing sex discrimination, should handle issues of gender identity. In addition, the department said there were 150,000 public comments with a range of feedback, including suggestions for modifications that needed to be considered. At this point, the department wrote, we do not intend for a final rule to be issued. Per ESPN, while the withdrawal of the pending regulations doesn't prevent Trump from pursuing his own regulations, he would have to start from scratch, which could take months or years, which, according to Trump's spokesperson Caroline Leavitt, is, quote, adding more red tape and making it more difficult for Trump to govern. During his speech, he also clumsily announced his plans to go after women's boxing. Take a look.
And for all of us standing before you today, I can proudly proclaim that the golden age of America is upon us. It's going to be a golden age. There's a spirit that we have now that we didn't have just a short while ago. Sadly, we didn't have. Who the hell can have spirit? Watching women get beat up in a boxing ring? I don't think that's spirit, right? We're going to end that one quick. We're going to end it very quickly. We're going to end that one very quick.
Now, because of how he phrased that, some people think that he could mean he's going after the sport of women's boxing altogether, but realistically, it's probably that he's going after transgender athletes who also box. It's hard to know because he is so clumsy. But Cenk, of all of these regulations, all of these different stances and changes, and specifically him saying that's what he's going to do, how does that make you feel?
So there's two different issues here. One is the general conversation about trans rights, and then there's a specific policies, right? So when he says on the general note that he's going to make it official policy that there's only males and females, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? That they will transgender people not be allowed to register as transgender? Do they have to pick it? But they say what their gender is. Are you not going to believe them? Are you going to? I don't understand what he's talking about. And I know that in the right wing there's this ideology now that there's no such thing as gender, and so they're making it up. I guess they think that trans people are just making it up, and that they're born a boy and they do feel like a boy, but they just feel like it'll be cool to be a girl or something. You think people are going to come out in the middle of Nebraska and say, "Oh yeah, I don't really feel anything, but I think it'll be a fad. It'll be fun to change my gender," and when they're grown-ups, go through gender reassignment surgery, etc., and then have all these people yell at me 24/7 and say, "Oh, I'm the real problem, and I'm this and I'm that," and then they're going to go through all of that for what? Fun? Because it was a fad? No, of course. So this is what bothers me about the right-wing way of thinking. If it didn't happen to you, they think it doesn't happen. Say, well, I was growing up and when I was a boy and I thought I was a boy, that's it. Is it possible that someone else might think differently? A different perspective? Okay, so yeah, they're not making it up. They definitely feel that way. And it takes enormous courage to have to go in that direction and say I'm transgender and do gender reassignment surgery. I can't imagine anything that would take more courage than that. So can you just let them be for a second? So did some leaders in the right-wing movement decide that they were going to target trans people to otherize them so that they could go, "Oh yeah, look at those people, ha ha ha." Of course, if you're a right-winger and you don't think that that's happening, you're totally kidding yourself and you live in a bubble. And guys, if you're a right-wing, you've done this your side has done this so many times. That's exactly what you did with gay marriage in 2004. That's what you did with the Southern strategy with black people overall. And you could say, nope, I don't believe in American history. I think you're making it all up. I think all the history books are making it up, etc. We saw it with our own eyes and ears, and we see this with our own eyes and ears. Now, on the other hand, when you get to the specific policies, that's where there's some disagreements, and it's fine to have disagreements. You can't say, no, we want maximalist position, and if everybody doesn't agree to that, then you're all anti-trans and anti-LGBTQ and anti-this and anti-that, and I'm gonna drive you all away from us. That's not helpful to protecting trans rights, okay, in my opinion. So when he says child sex mutilation, I hate that they phrase it that way. And Matt Walsh has been a cancer in this country. He loves the culture wars. The Daily Wire loves culture wars because don't look away from the corporate tax cuts we're trying to do, right? Because that's where the money is. The money cares about the corporate tax cuts, and they want us ripping each other to shreds on the culture wars, okay? So, but at the same time, does that mean we should allow gender reassignment surgery before they're 18? No. The American people do not agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't think it's even close, okay? So now secondly, military, he mentioned the military. Okay, see, that's a completely different issue. On that issue, you're telling me some people want to go take a bullet for us and we're gonna stop them? What are you, nuts? I don't want to go sign up for the military and get killed in some foreign war that Biden or Trump is going to send me to because Israel wants it. But a transgender person sign up for the military, let them serve. Let them serve. They're being patriotic. And you don't stop them from being patriotic and being American and helping us with the military. So when he did to get into the sports, I think that professional leagues should get to make up their own minds. And both sides disagree with that. Trump says, no, I'm going to make the decision for them. Brother, what do you know about the boxing league or the Olympics or lacrosse or whatever the hell, right? You don't know, let the leagues make their own decision. And to the trans activists who say, no, they should not be allowed to make the decision, I should make the decision for them. Yeah, but that's not how it works, okay? I could say, hey, you know what? an NBA doesn't have enough 5'9" rotund Turkish dudes. I'm gonna put it in. No, that's like let the professional leagues make their own decisions. Okay, I know you'll hate that analogy. I know. Just being reasonable is totally unreasonable. The world's upside down. And then in the schools, last two things. In the high schools, and then right wing's gonna get super mad at me. So it's gonna be great. Everybody's gonna hate me. So in high school, okay, there's like 13 kids who beat your daughter in cross country, across the whole country out of 330 million people. And oh my God, what if my daughter came in second? Oh, will she ever recover? And in return, because you're so worried about the 13 cases that it applies to, you're gonna check the genitalia of millions of kids? No, I think it's a terrible idea. Leave the kids alone. And then finally, on the bathrooms. Guys, have you seen transgender people? So a transgender person who is female looks female, and you want him to go in the guy's bathroom? And then transgender guys look like guys. You want him to go in the girl's bathroom? And if they do, I guarantee you it's the right wing who will say, oh, what are they doing in here? Look at this person who looks like a guy in the woman's bathroom. You did that, you knuckleheads, right? Let him just go to the bathroom in peace, for God's sake. All right, Jordan.
I want to save time for the turning point discussion, but I'm curious how you can look at an issue like abortion, or even you're saying, okay, well, why is Trump dictating what the NBA or professional sports leagues should do? And you say, well, okay, clearly the government should be involved in those decisions. So how do you square that with, okay, well, the government should also not allow these gender affirming care procedures for minors? Shouldn't that be between their parents and the doctor?
No,
how
because
so?
the state at some point has an interest in protecting children and protecting its citizens overall.
But
so
that implies it's inherently harmful, though.
It does, because they're changing their gender before they reach, before their brain actually reaches maturity enough to be able to make decisions that are irreversible. So if you said to me, having nothing to do with gender, nothing at all, okay, some people think because of a ritual that they have or a religious philosophy that they should chop off the arm or a leg of a child. I would say, no, I don't care. Sorry, I love you, but I don't care about your religion. I'm not gonna let you chop off their arms or legs. Not gonna happen.
That's an extreme hypothetical.
But this is extreme.
No, it's not. No, it's not. If somebody, no.
Changing the genitalia of someone is not extreme?
If I honestly, if the parents and the kid, they've talked about it with their doctor and they're like, this is who I am, this is how I feel. Why is the government making that decision?
Because the government must protect the citizens. And until the government, okay, but then the government says, I gotta protect you, so I'm not gonna let you drink beer till you're 21. We think 21 is extreme, right? But we would probably all agree to 18, 16, a number, right? Because no, these parents think that the kids should get vodka at the age of 3. What? No, the government has an interest in protecting kids.
You can't give your kids alcohol. Not 3, but that's not what, and that's also not what's happening with trans people. But like, so my point, if you're at a restaurant with your kid and you want to give them a beer, you can do that.
Okay, look, yes, but you can't keep giving them a beer. You can't, like, I don't even know what rule or law that you're referring to.
But also, if you're at home, the government doesn't kick in the door and say, stop giving that kid a minor.
No, if you say in front of a cop, your kid's drinking your 6-year-old's drinking vodka, you're gonna get arrested.
But it's not 6. We're talking about like.
But by the way, this is pre-18, includes 6 and 3. So do you have then give me when can you like literally take your genitalia, like change it? Give me a number. Give me a number.
Okay, but let's also come on. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's be like respectful of the conversation, and then also like these are people we're talking about. Like there are people who let's say they're 15, 16, and they're like, this is not who I am. Their parents respect that. Their doctor respects it. And you're still saying the government should stop it.
I respect it as soon as they reach 18. Okay.
No, but what? Why?
If you're telling me a beer is wrong and is potentially harmful to an 18-year-old, but changing their genitalia forever and ever is not. No, look, on puberty blockers, for example, I agree with you. Because puberty blockers are reversible. And to the right wing, I say, guys, you're saying to parents, you're not allowed to make that decision. I'm gonna take your freedom away. So that's the same point you're making. But the surgery is irreversible and it's gigantic. It's not a little thing, Jordan.
But that's also not the majority of what people are doing.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with you on that.
So,
right. The right-wing demagogues as if like that's a major thing. But Jordan, that's why
what you led with, though.
No. I didn't lead with it, Jordan. I gave you the whole list. I gave you the whole list.
No, on this topic in that list.
Yeah, but Jordan, no, you guys are making a bigger deal out of it by insisting on it. And then it brings the focus on that. And when you guys insist on that, that seems so outrageous to the average American that they then wind up taking away more trans rights. But it's a very bad strategy in protecting trans rights on all the things that are absolutely essential.
It's what people on the right have zeroed in on because they know to the average person, I think they'll see that as, oh, that's confusing to me, whatever, however people interpret it. The left does it to the right too. People will try to paint the entire Republican Party as a party of Marjorie Taylor Greene's. It's just how politics works. So on this issue, people aren't making it the priority. They're defending it because they want to defend their community.
It. Okay, so
why wouldn't they?
Here's the example we used last time when we were talking about this. So I'm extreme left on gun control. I think that you shouldn't even be allowed to have a gun in your home. I think you should be in a locker. You know, as I say that, the right wing's now way more mad at me about that than any other thing we just discussed, right? But guys, when we go to run a campaign, don't let me emphasize that issue. That's mental, because that is not a winning popular issue. And by the way, in gun control, actual lives are on the line. Tens of thousands of people are being killed. And my position is correct. If you have a gun at home, you're much more likely to get killed by a gun. So my position is far more inarguable, but the American people are not there. So how would I handle it? If they say, hey, Cenk, you want to do gun control? I say, yeah, universal background check, because that polls at 97%, red flag laws, all the things that people agree with. And they say, Cenk, isn't it true that your position is to not have one at home? It is, but I'm not gonna do that. You know why? Because it's not popular, and that's not what I'm running on, period. Done, I'm done with it. Now I just got rid of it because I'm not gonna do it, okay? So what's the point of still talking about it? That's how you get, and I'll say, you know what? I'd like me to do a second term, and maybe I'll build up enough credibility to do my gun control laws that at that point might be doable. You gotta win people over. But if you go and debate the right wing on that, it'll make it seem like the only thing trans people care about is gender reassignment surgery before 18. And rhetorically, that's a nightmare. Get out of there. Get out of a losing issue. Get to the right issues where we need to, oh my God, we gotta protect trans people from this bathroom nonsense. Having to go into the wrong bathroom is not a little thing. It's a giant thing in their lives. And you're gonna lose that. And we had won in Trump's first term. He backed away from that. Now we're going back into the bathroom issue because we've lost so much ground. We've lost so much ground trying to defend maximalist position that the American people do not like.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.